turkey season 2021.
Alright guys, we're out here today getting ready for turkey season with our longbows, and the biggest reason we're here today is this turkey call. This turkey call here is a Alpha and Omega made by Josh Jones here in our home county. He's a custom turkey call maker, and we're going to give this call away for free to one of you lucky subscribers. At the end of this little video here, you'll see exactly how this thing is made from start to finish. And we went over to Josh's shop, and that was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
I learned a lot of things today, didn't you?
Learned quite a bit on how to make the pot calls and kind of how he started out. You know, his joy of turkey hunting, looking at some calls. And it's a pretty good episode. Y'all need to watch it all the way through.
Yep.
So yeah, it's just amazing to me how this beautiful call here was like a 4x4 just chunk of wood, and in not a long amount of time, I mean, he produced this beautiful call with what he calls red slate on the top. So it's actually signed by Josh himself, and this is going to be real easy to win. It's totally free. Basically, the only thing you have to do to be eligible to win this call is, number one, subscribe to our channel, which is totally free. Number two, you have to like this episode. And number three, you have to make a comment on which episode is your favorite that we've put out. So that's it. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment which video is your favorite that we've put out. What we'll do, we'll run this till about a week before turkey season. Go ahead and when you subscribe, set your alert button, and it'll alert you when we're getting ready to draw a winner. It'll be a random drawing based on the comments. So that's all you got to do to win it. Pretty easy. And for those of you out there that don't know how to subscribe, it's very easy. You go to YouTube, you create an account for free, and then you subscribe to our channel. The only thing that subscription does is if you hit the notification, the little bell thing, it just alerts you when we have a new episode come out. So it'll kind of keep you up with what we're doing throughout the season.
There may be some more people you want to subscribe to, get ready for turkey season.
Absolutely.
Watching all kinds of turkey videos.
Absolutely.
I look forward to doing that.
But that's all you got to do today to win this. And matter of fact, Josh was kind enough to supply us with some more of these same type calls. This was a green one he made down there.
Yep.
And this is basically what we're going to be using this upcoming turkey season. And I know a lot of people that use these Alpha Omegas, and they've been real successful. And people around our area, they've killed a far out of these turkeys using these exact calls here. And you can too. Show them a little bit what that sounds like there, Randy.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good.
I'm well pleased with it.
I can't wait till turkey season starts. But that's all we've got for you today. And like I said, right after this, you'll see this exact call made from beginning to end. You'll see exactly what you're getting. We'll post some information how to get a hold of Josh. Unfortunately, if you don't win and you want to contact Josh to make one of these custom calls, you can do that. If you mention that you've seen this video, tell him you've seen it on Talkin'bout Outdoors. He's going to give you $5 off any turkey call you order. So that's a pretty good deal.
That's a pretty good deal, yeah.
So
you don't have to subscribe anyway to get the $5 off. So you've done got it taken care of.
You've done got it taken care of. So get on the Alpha Omega train. You'll really enjoy this call. And if you don't win it, buy one, try it out. I think you'll be very pleased. All right, guys, welcome to Talkin'bout Outdoors, and today we've got a special feature for you. We're here today with Josh Jones, and he is the owner of Alpha Omega Turkey Calls. Josh was kind enough to reach out to us and ask us if we wanted to use some of his custom-made calls this coming turkey season, and I pretty much jerked your arm off. So here where we live in our region, he's well known for his custom calls. A lot of people I know and have hunted with use the calls. They have a great tune, a great sound, and a custom call. And I'm glad you gave me a call, Josh.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So we're here with him today, and he's been kind enough to bring us into his workshop here, and he's kind of going to go through the process of how he makes these calls. And if you're like me, I've used a lot of these pot calls, friction calls, and I've never known how to make one. And he's going to show us his process on how he does it. And the unique thing about this is this particular call that we're going to make today, we're actually going to give that away to you. So one of you lucky subscribers out there is going to get this actual call we're going to make here today. So Josh, is there anything you'd like to say before we get started on anything?
Let's make a turkey call.
Make a turkey call. How'd you get started in this anyway?
Well, I was probably 14, I guess, and I actually made this box call right here.
Yeah.
And then I kind of laid it, and I made an owl hoot too. I think I made that in 95. Yeah. And that's what started my call making procedures. My dad was a woodworker. He had all the stuff in the basement. Your basic table saw, Larry arm saw, joiner. He had the basic woodworking stuff. So woodworking was not foreign to me. And but I loved hunting. Golly, I loved hunting ever since I can remember.
Well, we all do.
And I love to make stuff. And I love to make stuff. And I seen one of these one day. And my 14-year-old mind went to work. And I was like, I can make that. And well, here it is.
And then here we are now.
Yeah, and then about 8 years ago, I got a wood lathe about 10 years ago. Knew nothing about one of them. And I got to looking at a pot call one day. I was like, well, I can make that too. So that's how I got into making those. And so here we are today. And I've made, I don't know, well over 1,000 in the last 8
Give us a little demo on that hoot owl.
Oh, the hoot owl?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
This is a piece of, I was telling the guys earlier, my cousin had one that was made out of PVC pipe. Well, I didn't have any PVC pipe. So I ran home and I was like, I got some dipper gourds. So this is the neck off of a dipper gourd. And then I didn't have a piece of PVC this small, but in front of my mom and dad's house on the creek bank was that river cane. So I went and cut me a piece of that and I hot glued it together. It don't look the prettiest in the world, but it does work. And I remember coming out of the...
That sounds really good.
I was all excited about it, and I remember coming out of the basement, and I blew it for the first time outside, and there's an owl answering me, and so I was like, I got it right.
Yeah.
You got it right.
Success. And
I
nature
hunted-
let you know.
Yeah, and I actually hunted with it for a few years, and but now I just kind of put it up with this one. So
That's
that's where it all
special.
started here.
That's
with
the
these
roots
two,
right
yeah.
there, where it all comes from.
Yeah. I think this was about 97 or 8 when I made this box call. Yeah. So
Every big cow company started the same way,
started
Josh.
somewhere. I
That's
know.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I really enjoy it. I really do. I like working with wood, and I like to make stuff that's usable.
Yeah.
And I've made deer grind. I made all kinds of calls, but this turkey calls is I guess you'd say my passion. So
And when you harvest an animal with it, that just
it
makes
just
it
is
special.
so much you can kill one with my call, and it's like I killed it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
I like to see it.
And that's
So,
kind of like, I do a lot of fly fishing, time on flies.
Oh, yeah.
And it's similar to,
yes.
you know,
Absolutely.
to make something at home and go harvest whatever it is, a fish, a
It-
turkey, whatever.
Yeah.
It means a little
It
more.
does. It does. It sure does. So.
Well, I'm tickled to death, and like I said, and we talked about this earlier, these custom calls, you know, we talked about these, you know, high manufactured calls, how sometimes, and with me and Randy's experienced this, you know, some particular ones, in 2 or 3 years they do good and they trail off, and, you know, this right here is probably a unique sound.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, you don't manufacture a whole lot of them, and this is something that, you know, a turkey may not hear twice in its lifetime.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't. That means
Hopefully
you got
it's here once.
it. Only hear it once.
Yeah.
Well, here's the way I come up with the name Alpha and Omega. For one, or for starters, I was wanting a name because I'd made several of them,
Yep.
and I was wanting a name. So, and I was thinking about it. Well, it came to me one day, and Alpha and Omega. You know, Jesus said, "I'm the beginning and the end."
Right.
And
That's
I
right.
thought, when people ask me, I'm going to tell them, when they hear my call, that's the beginning of their end.
That's pretty good right there, Josh.
Yeah.
Let's remember
But,
that.
yeah, but also too, I've got some stickers that I used to put on them. I out of them right now, but it has Revelations 1:8, and it says, "I am the Alpha and the Omega." And I was thinking of that because there's a lot of turkey hunters that probably are lost, you know,
Yeah.
that probably don't know the Lord.
Absolutely.
And I thought, well, if they get one of my calls and they
Yeah,
turn that
that's
over and they
testimony.
see that, because he says, "I am the one that was dead and alive, and I'm coming back." My words.
Yeah.
I am to come. I thought maybe that'll get the wheels turning,
Mhm.
and you know they'll realize that there's still a heaven to gain, the hell to shun.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
right.
So yeah, that's how I came up with the name. So
Yeah, that's good.
That's an awesome name.
yeah,
Good
I
name.
like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, what color we going with?
Red or blue? Y'all, you pick it there.
I'm gonna say let's do red.
You wanna do red?
Yeah. Let's do red.
We'll do it.
And now, what exactly is this here, Josh?
That is curly maple. The wood is curly maple. Of course, it is dyed red, and it is infused with epoxy. To my understanding, they put it in a pressure pot, and of course, put pressure in the pot, and it drives that down into the wood, and it makes the wood almost plastic. Even when you're turning it, you don't have much dust. You'll notice when I start turning it that it's not like grains of wood. It's more of a plastic coming off of it.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah, and it's really dense. A lot of times they do this with wood like ambrosia maple, stuff that's really soft and porous, because it'll stabilize the wood, make it hard, make it usable.
Yeah.
So they just throw some dye in there to kind of, give it a little kick, I guess you'd say.
That's cool.
But yeah, they turn out well. They look good, and of course they're you can get them about any different color you want. We've got 3 different colors here today, but it makes a unique sound. It's not like these are a different sound than any wood pot and I've made them out of any kind of wood you can imagine.
Yeah.
But this right here is where it's at, my opinion.
Yeah.
And the way I make them, we'll start out, and this may be the wrong way. You can get on there and look. People make them all different ways. But this is what works for me, and I've improved it over the last few years, the steps, but it kind of seems like you start at the back and go for it, kind of like a reversed, because I'm going to drill some holes first, and those holes will be here. Because it's easier to line this stuff up when you've got square edges.
No, I could see that.
Oh, absolutely.
You try to drill this with a round, you can't get no good. So anyway, we start backwards. The first thing I do is I'll get me a straight edge. Just make us a line, corner to corner, all 4 corners.
Tucker, he's using geometry here, so
Yeah.
when you get in high school, you start taking that geometry.
This is the Union County geometry, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Big ridge geometry.
Legion 4, yeah.
So that gets us the center of this blank here. And our blanks are normally, you want them about 4 inches square. And really, I don't like to go any less than 7/8 thick. This one's probably an inch, which is fine. So after we get our X on there, I told you we was going to be doing geometry. We get our old trusty compass out, and I'll put that right in the center. And we'll just scribe us a line in that circle. I'm having no trouble with it.
I'd say that epoxy there makes it even
sticks
harder.
pretty good, yeah. So we scribe this around through here. So that gives us a
That's
circle.
a little circle there.
So why do we need the circle? Because everywhere it meets here, I imagine another X.
Okay, gotcha.
I got you.
So those holes are going to be the same.
Yeah.
There's not going to be one over here and one over. It's not. It'll look the same. So that's
Josh,
how we
that's just
start.
good old common sense
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
The way you're doing it right there. That's just
It wasn't so common when I first started though.
well, you trial and error, you figure it
Yeah, I
out.
was like, how? Because I would turn it out and then I'd try to drill them holes. And I was like, golly, this is tough. There got to be a better way.
It looks like you found it to me.
So I found this to work best for me. And then of course we come to the drill press here. We'll just drill those 5 holes. This is a center hole. Ain't got my vacuum on. So there we got them. 5 holes. Have I lost you yet?
Nope. We're still with you,
Still
bud.
with me? All right.
We.
So that's going to give us our holes in the back of the call. Now, some call makers, they like to do,
Multiple.
yeah, but I found this works best for me. Like, I don't think there's a wrong or right way,
Yeah.
but this is just the way
Your way.
this is my way. And that's the way I like it. So let's move on over here to the wood lathe. Now then. Yeah, we got it.
All right.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna come on this end here.
And I wouldn't stand
Too close?
this way.
Dude,
Because
need
we're
to
fixing to have flying objects here in a minute. Some people like to make it round before they start, but I find that that's just
Yeah, it makes it harder to
it's
measure.
it's harder to measure. It's just another step that you're just working for nothing. Because I'm fixing to show you how to make it round really quick. So this is what's called a parting tool, and what we're going to do.
Safety first.
Safety first. Is I'm going to make this square blank round. That'll be the first step. If you look, you can kind of see where it starts getting round.
Oh yeah.
See that? I always like to go. I'll try to start right in here. A little rough to start with.
Corners off pretty quick.
But that rounds it off pretty good. That kind of smooths the lathe up too, so it's not bouncing around as much. We're going to recess the face of this to fit our playing surface. And there's a little bit of variation between these and glass. So I always, today we're making a red slate. And I always like to use the one I'm going to put in that actual call. That way it fits the way it needs to. Because there's the glass isn't hardly as big around as this one is. So if you make a universal pot, you're going to have a lot of slop in the glass. So so first thing we'll do, we'll make us a groove and we'll hollow it out all the way in, just big enough to fit that playing surface in. We're getting close. And there we go. You want just a little bit around the outside, or I like to get, I don't want it snug, but I want it flat. Alright. So how do we get this cut out where it fits in there good? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make I call it a hat. I don't know if it's the right term or not. We're going to make this right here. This is what our soundboard's going to sit on. So that's going to be our next step.
You probably make these in your sleep, don't you?
Pretty much. I could, I guess. Probably. Are you with me?
We're with you, buddy.
One thing I didn't say, I like to come in about 1/8 of an inch to make that lip. For this is what our playing surface is going to set on, this lip. And then this is what our soundboard. Of course, we gotta cut this out too. So. So now that we got that hollowed out, that's the same height this is as this is. So we got to turn this down to, we want our soundboard just below the playing surface. So what we got to do is we got to turn this hat down to where that's down inside the call, if that makes sense. So we'll turn that down.
Did they touch, Josh?
No.
Or, so they're not supposed to touch?
If they touch, they're awful.
makes
They sound off. And if they're too deep.
Okay.
The deeper you get the soundboard, the more boxier they get. And the
Okay.
closer you keep it to the playing surface, in my opinion, the better they sound. But you don't want it to touch. Fine line.
And I ain't seen you measure nothing, so you just
No,
going by
I'm
what
going-
you feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know about where to put it because I've made so many of them. I've made so many mistakes.
Well, I'm with you. I'm with you.
So we'll turn that down. Is it good?
Yeah.
And always remember in turning, it's kind of like a haircut.
Yeah.
You can always take more, but you can't add to.
No.
And it won't grow back. Getting close. Notice how that wood's kind of, it's not real sawdusty because it's got all that epoxy in
Yeah,
it.
you was right about dust. I mean, it's very, very little.
Hardly any.
Very,
Hardly
very
any.
little.
If you've ever turned any, it's kind of like turning that epoxy. They make epoxy blanks and stuff. Call that good.
Okay.
And we got the inside of the call done, and we got our, what I would call the hat. I don't know if that's the right term or not, for our soundboard to sit on. We've got our groove cut for our playing surface. We're going to make it just a little bit more rounded. Get a little closer. I stopped and I've got all sides right there. Yeah. I hope you're a good editor. Alright, we're about done with this tool. Now we're going to move to called the bowl gouge. I don't know who came up with these names, but we're going to go with it.
Yeah. Probably some famous woodwork.
Probably. So, like I said, the inside is done. On my calls, I like to make a little radius on the edge. Makes them a little bit easier to hold. So
I've noticed that, Josh. I think it does. I really do.
It makes them a little easier to hold.
Yeah.
You don't have to, but it's just something that I've been doing. Every one that I've made, I've done that too. So
That's custom.
yeah, exactly. So we're going to make that little radius right there. Pretty good. Then I'm going to sand this, and I start out with 180 and move down to about 320 or so. got her pretty close, sanded down to where we need to go. Now we'll take it out. This will be really quick, this back side. Kind of start seeing the grain a little bit now. I have to sharpen my gouge, it's getting dull. All right. Hit her vacuum again.
Oh, yeah. At this point, it is pretty much turned. You kind of see the grain starting to come out in it. Got little sand scratches here we'll take out later. You can see that maple coming through there, Yeah.
that curly maple.
Yeah, looks good. Gonna make a good
That's gonna
call
make
for
a good
somebody.
looking call right
It is
there.
going to be nice. There's
Somebody's
no
gonna
doubt.
somebody's gonna be fortunate,
Yeah.
Josh, right there
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Boy, that brings the color out right there.
Yeah.
Man, boy, that's gonna be pretty right there,
Get over
man.
here in the light.
That, golly, boy, that's gonna be pretty.
See that? See that
Man,
curly
that-
in there?
Yeah, that just, let me get a little closer. Josh, that just made all the difference in the world.
Look at the top of it.
Wow.
Yeah, boy.
It's all right.
You might not kill no turkeys, but you gonna look good doing it though.
Somebody
you know
else gonna want one whether they work or not.
That's it.
But now it'll look like that when we get
But
done.
you do a comparison of
Yeah, there you
what
go.
it looked like
Yeah.
There you go.
before.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
the difference in
yeah,
I gotta
buddy.
tell you, that is a pretty.
It's
It's pretty.
All right, folks, we're back over here at Josh Jones.
Okay, I'm sorry, Darren. I had to do that.
Take two.
All right, folks, we're back over here with Josh Jones and Alpha and Omega calls. And the first part of our episode there, he was cutting out our blanks. And tonight we're going to put the soundboards and the slates or crystals on it. So, Josh, tell us kind of what we got going on here.
I gotta sit down when I'm doing this. Well, like I said, we got we cut them out the other night, and on the lathe we got all the wood, the work done with as far as the wood goes, and then we had to put the finish on there. So we let it dry for a few days. Normally just overnight, but we let these dry for a few days, and you can kind of see how some of them.
And may I add that, man, them things turned out great.
Yeah, they are some, not because I made them, but they are some good looking calls. So what we'll do first is we'll put our soundboards in, and it'll go in. We'll put some epoxy down there on the hat, and we'll glue those in, and just like so. And this will be our playing surface. This will be actually what the striker hits, and then we'll put it in on top of that. So pretty simple process, just takes a little time, so we'll get started on that.
What kind of soundboard are you using today?
This on the crystal calls. When you hear the term slate over glass, slate over crystal, slate, the first term, whether it be slate, crystal, glass, that's your playing surface. And when they say, like these calls, these blue ones right here, the blue one and the green one, is going to be crystal over glass. So what that means is crystal playing surface, glass soundboard, the crystal is going to be over the glass. And these here will be, the soundboard will be glass, and the playing surface is slate. So it'll be slate over glass. That's the term that we use to tell you what kind of call you're getting. So did that answer your question?
It sure does.
Yeah.
It sure, because, I mean, nowadays, depending
Oh,
on turkey, there's so much over
Yeah.
so much. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many
Yeah.
combinations.
I mean,
out
just
there.
all kinds of
It's
variability
crazy.
that
Yeah.
you can put into it to
Yeah.
make the right call.
And this is just my personal favorite. I think these sound the best. You can mix and match it any way you can possibly imagine. So
I guess it's according on to what type of hunter, what he really likes, what kind of sound he really likes to put out.
yeah, exactly.
If he likes something real soft and subtle, you know, he's going to like this type of call.
Exactly. And normally these I like crystal because it's a little higher pitch.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, it's still, you can get down there and get quiet if you need to get quiet, or you can get loud if you need to get loud. Which you don't have. The glass, in my opinion, won't go out as far as the crystal will. It just won't carry as far as the sound will on the crystal. So, but I just use some simple epoxy. I like to use these little tubes here because it makes it not as messy.
I'd say that stuff sets up pretty quick.
It
too,
does.
don't
You can get it 1 minute. This is 5 minutes. And then you can even get it to, I think, 1 hour set time. So you have an hour work time. We got 5 minutes on this. 5 minute work time is what they call it. You can get 1 minute, but that's, if you're doing a couple calls, you can't get them all glued up.
Yeah.
before it starts setting up. So just put a good bead.
Josh, you're like a magician right through there, man.
I
That
know
looks
it.
good.
Now I didn't notice that little groove in that hat part there the other day. What?
I just took a Dremel tool
Oh, okay.
and cut that out. It lets them open
Lets the
up.
sound
Yeah.
out a little bit.
Yeah,
A lot of
man,
people
this-
don't. Yeah, you can set that one up there. A lot of people don't do it, and sometimes I don't do it, but I am on these.
Somebody's in this room too, right? Somebody's.
Now this red one, this one I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
That's the one we turned out,
That's one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's seen it.
and every
From
you
start
seen-
to finish.
Yeah, we seen. You got a video of this one, start to finish.
And then these here's maple, right?
Yeah.
Got some
Curly,
real
curly
pretty,
maple.
pretty curly maple look to it there.
And see when you. All right, we've let these soundboards dry. They're pretty much. They ain't cured yet, but they're dry. So the next thing we're gonna do, well, next to the last, we're gonna put the playing surface in.
Pretty neat how it works.
And it's pretty much the same principle as the soundboard. We're just going to put a bead of this epoxy around through here.
That red slate comes out of Pennsylvania.
That's what that's what they advertise it.
Now, what's generally your typical turnaround time when they contact you, Josh?
If I've got the stuff, which I normally I do, unless it's something customized like on the soundboard, I can in a couple days I can have it ready to go. But if you want to go like engrave something on the soundboard, then that runs into getting the laser guy that does the laser engraving. Depends on how backed up he is. Depends on how detailed you want it and all that. So the really custom work is kind of turnaround's not as quick. But just your run of the mill like these here, I don't keep a whole lot of these blanks in stock, but I can have one ready in probably 2 to 3 days.
Not bad.
No,
So you're talking about
I can
2
make
weeks.
it. Yeah,
2
yeah.
weeks for turkey season. You could probably get the stuff and ship it.
Right. If I have to order something, of course, it normally takes.
Whatever shipping time is.
Yeah, and right now shipping is
Yeah.
crazy. So
And now, on your color combinations, you said something about you can actually get one in a black and.
there's a bunch of different colors. Well, I think there's 8 or 9 of this stabilized wood.
Mm-hmm.
And my experience with this stabilized wood, one good thing about it, it doesn't really matter the species of wood. It doesn't really affect the sound of it because they all have that common ground of being stabilized with that epoxy-like stuff.
So it's just
So like
the looks of it.
Yes, the
poplar
look.
sounded
Yeah.
different than the walnut.
Like earlier we had the poplar and then those other. You could really tell a difference in the sound, even though the guts of the call was the same. But I've not found that on these because they're all infused with the same stuff. So really, they all have the same density.
So it's basically just the look.
It's a
as
look,
far
yeah.
as what
It's a
different
look
wood
and a
grain.
call like no other call you're going to. You're never going to get a wood call to sound like these will. So we got our glue in there. We're just going to drop these in. I like to kind of center them and give them a turn. Kind of like a plumber, ain't it?
That's it.
Got to turn the pipe or it
That's
won't
it.
stick. So then I lay my little weight back on there.
That even looks good with the red slate on there. Just
Oh,
the
yeah.
way.
Oh yeah.
Now this is the one that we've got from start to finish
Yep.
right here.
That'll be the one somebody gets right
Somebody will be the lucky owner of that one. Give a little demo of some of them here. This is what's called laminated. That is cherry. This is cherry, walnut, maple, walnut, maple, walnut, cherry. You can get them all different color combinations. This is a crystal, and the soundboard on this one you can see is, I think that's walnut, and it's been laser engraved with that turkey image, which looks pretty good. This
Oh,
is,
that's pretty.
yeah, this is a customer's here. It's sold, but I'm going to show it off anyway. And it's the laminated wood.
That's a pretty. I might not want to even saying that right there.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to.
That's beautiful.
Of course, this is a red slate. I really like the red slate. It ain't been out, but I think about 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I like that. That sounds good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And, you know, a lot of people ask me, do I need to buy 2 calls? And I tell them no. They need one call and a couple strikers, because you heard that one. I really like the red.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's a lot higher pitch than the old black slate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got a real good crisp cut to it.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
About making me want to gobble
Yeah.
up now.
Yeah.
And then you know they got a real good feeding purr, and you can do it real easy, real quiet, or you can get loud
Almost like a
with it.
fighting bird.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, this would be just to kind of show you the difference between the woods. This is cherry and walnut and maple, and this is the poplar, the rainbow poplar.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big, big difference.
Big difference. Yeah. That is a big difference. A little deeper.
Mm-hmm. And you got to play with your call too. You need to find the sweet
Sweet
spot.
spot.
They all got one.
Yeah, every
I mean,
one of them
a
do.
lot of people when they find it, they'll mark it some way. But that's what I like about these, because when I'm hunting and I know where that sweet spot is, I can pull that call out and I can see it's kind of like the frets on a guitar. You know where you're at.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So that's one reason I like these laminated pots pretty good. But now these that we've got glued up here, they will sound totally different than all of these, because that's they call it stabilized, which they've been pressured with epoxy type material that stabilizes the wood. It almost turns it into plastic, so it's going to have a different, which, in my opinion, is probably the best sounding call that I make. I'll put it that way.
So if somebody wanted a particular call, have a particular wood with a particular soundboard or whatever, they could call you and you could
Call me.
You could make that happen.
Yep, call me or message me on Facebook. If you got a combination you'd like to have, we can make it. And I've even made them out of, people say, one guy called me and he had a piece of barn wood that came out of the barn on the farm where he was raised.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of sentimental to him.
Yeah.
And made him a call out of that. And it was a good call, because that barn wood usually is good and cured out. And most of it's oak. A lot of it's chestnut oak. And chestnut oak makes a good call. It's just a little hard to come by nowadays. But yeah, you can message me on Facebook, or you can call me. My number is on that Facebook. And so...